Daf Yomi, Tracti Menachot, page 34b, top of the page. Tanu Rabanan. Tanu Rabanan. Litoitofois. 3 times it says. Litoitofois. Litotefet. Hold on. It's spelled litotefet, but litotafot. Okay, let's find out what they're saying. Harikan Arba Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. The sages taught in Bright with regard to the number of compartments. I guess totafot is referring to compartments. With regard to the number of compartments in the phylacteries of the head, the verse states, "It shall be for a sign upon your head and for totafot between your eyes." Exodus 13:16. With the word totafot spelled deficient, without the vowels, okay. Without a vav before the final letter in a way that can be read as singular. And again, they shall be for a totafot between your eyes. Deuteronomy 6:8, spelled as a singular word. And again, they shall be for a totafot between your eyes. Deuteronomy 11:18. Okay, there's 3 places in Exodus 13:16, Deuteronomy 6:8, and Deuteronomy 11:18. This time spelled plene, with a vav before the final letter. Plene, I guess it means like expanded, like plenty. With a vav before the final letter, no matter, that must be plural. There are 4 mentions of totafot here. The 3rd one is written in the plural and therefore counts as 2. Consequently, it is derived that the phylacteries of the head must have 4 separate compartments. This is the statement of Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Kiva Omer, and it's tat. Pat, Rabbi Kiva says there is no need for this proof, as the requirement for 4 compartments can be derived in a different way. It can be derived from the word totafot itself. The word tot, in the language of katve, whatever that is, means 2. And the word pat, in the language of Afrike, also means 2. And therefore, totafot can be understood as a compound word meaning for Tanu Rabanan. Yeah, it's 2 pshatim. Tat and pat. Tat means 2, and pat also means 2. So it's 2 and 2. Totafot, that's 4. But pat is spelled pei tav. Oh, it's also spelled pei tav. Okay, good. Very good. Okay. Now the question that I've had for a long time, because this is not the first time I've heard this, but like, why is the Torah using African language or Katwe language to say something? I mean, what does it mean in Hebrew? Okay, anyway, that's just a question I've had for a long time. Tanu Rabanan Yochal. Yorichat ve malava oirois vinechemel batim oirois tamud lomar uzikori mininechu zikori nechad amalti lach v'lo shnayim v'shloish zechoinois haketzad koisvon alal ba'oirois al ba'oirois vinechemel batim oirois. The sages taught in Brayta, one might have thought that a scribe should write the passages of the phylacteries of the head on 4 separate hides, meaning 4 separate parchments, and place them in 4 compartments of 4 hides, 1 passage in each compartment. Therefore, the verse states, and for a memorial between your eyes. Exodus 13:9. This teaches, I said to you, that the phylacteries are 1 memorial, but not that they are 2 or 3 memorials, meaning the phylacteries themselves must be 1 unit. How so? One writes the passages on 4 hides and places them in 4 compartments fashioned of 1 hide. Im kosom bo'echa v'nichem babatim yotzo tzorich shehei revach beinehen divrei Rebbe v'chachomim oimrim min tzorich v'shovim shenoisen chut oy meshicha bein kol achas v'yachas im charitza nikar pesulois. And if the scribe wrote all 4 of them on 1 hide and placed them in 4 compartments by splitting the parchment between each of the passages, one who dons these phylacteries has nullified his obligation and in such a case, it is necessary for there to be a space between each of the passages so that each can be placed in a separate compartment. This is the statement of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and the rabbis say it is not necessary for there to be a space between them. And Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi and the rabbis agree that one places a string or a thicker band between each and every one of the four compartments. The Braita adds, and if there are furrows, meaning the lines marking the separation between the compartments, are not noticeable from the outside, the phylacteries are unfit. Tanu Rabbanan, Ketzad koyislo and tefila shel yad koyislo al oich echad im kosu ba'avoyos v'yanicha b'bayis echad yatsa v'tzarech l'dabek shenev hoylech al ois al yadecha keshem shoyis achas mibachutz kach ois achas mibnim dever Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Yosef Omer en tzorich. The sages taught in the Braita how does one scribe write them with regard to the phylacteries of the arm. He writes it on one hide, but if you wrote it on four separate hides and placed it in one compartment, when it wears it has fulfilled his obligation, and in such a case it is necessary to attach the four parchments as it is stated. And it shall be for a sign for you upon your arm. Exodus 13:9. This teaches that just as the phylacteries of the arm are one sign on the outside, as the compartment is fashioned from a single hide, so too they must be on one side of the inside, meaning the four passages must be on a single parchment. This is the statement of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi says it is not necessary to attach the passages. Amar Rabbi Yossi, modeli Rabbi Yehuda b'ribi she'im ein lo tefillin shel yad v'yesh lo shte tefillin shel rosh shetoile oyo alachas mehen menicha moide hainu peluktaihu omerove midevor shel Rabbi Yossi chozar boy Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi says, and Rabbi Yehuda the distinguished, meaning Rabbi Yehuda Beribi, concedes to me that if one does not have phylacteries of the arm but has two phylacteries of the head, that he covers one of them with patches of hide to render it like one compartment and places it on his arm. The Gemara asks, how can Rabbi Yossi say that Rabbi Yehuda concedes to him in this case? This is the very situation in which their dispute applies, as they disagree over whether or not the passages of the phylacteries of the arm may be written on separate parchments. Rava said, from Rabbi Yossi's statement, one can infer that Rabbi Yehuda retracted his opinion and accepted Rabbi Yossi's ruling. Eini. Is that so? Eini, is that really so? Shalach Rabbi Chanan, Mishmei Rabbi Yochanan. Tefila shel yad oisin oisin shel roish oisin oisin shel yad. Lefi shein moridin mikdusha chamura lekdusha kala. Rabbi Yossi said that all agree that one can convert phylacteries of the head into phylacteries of the arm. The Gemara asks, is that so? But Rabbi Hananya sent the following ruling in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. If one has phylacteries of the arm, he can convert it to phylacteries of the head, but if one has phylacteries of the head, he cannot convert it to phylacteries of the arm, because one does not reduce the sanctity of an item from a level of greater sanctity of phylacteries of the head to a level of lesser sanctity of phylacteries of the arm. Loikashi, and this is nicht kein kashi. Loikashi hobi atikoso hobe chaditoso. Mando mahazmona milsehi diasti mikore. The Gemara answers, this is not difficult, as this ruling is stated with regard to old phylacteries which have already been worn on one's head and therefore have a greater level of sanctity, whereas that ruling is stated with regard to new phylacteries which have not yet been used. The Gemara adds, and according to the one who says that designation is significant, meaning once one designates an item for use in fulfilling the particular mitzvah, it assumes the sanctity of an item used for mitzvot. This ruling is stated with regard to a case where he stipulated with regard to them from the outset that he may convert it from phylacteries of the head to phylacteries of the arm, and only in this circumstance is it permitted to convert them. Tanu Rabbanan ketzad sidron Chadash li v'hoy k'vi'acham yamin shma v'hoyom shmoya Kaddish li, v'hoya kiviyacha, yamin shema, v'hoya mishemoya, mismol. The sages taught in bright how does one arrange the 4 passages. Inside the phylacteries, the passage of sanctify unto me, Exodus 13, 1 through 10. The passage of and it shall be when he shall bring you, Exodus 13, 11 through 16 are placed to the right. The passage of Hear Israel, listen to Israel, Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9, and the passage of and it shall come to pass if you shall hearken diligently, Deuteronomy 11, 13 through 21, are placed on the left. We learn the opposite. The Gemara asks, but isn't it time to write to the one places them in the opposite manner? With the first 2 passages on the left and the latter 2 on the right. Abaye said, Das is nicht kein kasha, it's not difficult. Here it means to the right of the reader, and one who is standing opposite the donning of the phylacteries, whereas there it means to right to the one who is donning the phylacteries. And this is the manner in which the reader reads the passages in the order as they appear in the Torah, starting with Exodus 13, 1 through 10 on his right. Reb Chananel says that Rav says one exchanged the passages, he placed them in different order within the compartment. The phylacteries are unfit. Abaye said, we did not say this. Continuing on, so how is it that Rabbeinu Tam, he switches the order? According to this Talmud, it wouldn't be kosher. So that's a question. All right. Für die Kasche starten wir nicht. Go weiter.